This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Get real.
No. Nope.
This
Just
is
stop.
a sham.
It's finally here. Drum roll. Welcome to DBL. I'm Sam in for Jeff. Did you guys see the new Brad Pitt, George Clooney teaser trailer? Tori's excited. They are back together. We're getting a first look at their new movie called Wolves. They play two fixers who are assigned the same job and reluctantly have to work together, kind of like Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Yeah,
Watch.
yeah.
Oh,
It's a different thing now.
it's gonna be a long night.
Where'd you get the drugs?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Where did you get the drugs?
Talk.
There's an art to this you may not realize.
But they are just saying the same thing over and over.
Let's see your technique. I showed you my luggage card trick. Admit it. It's cool.
Okay, fine. It was very cool.
Where'd you get the drugs?
So this is the first time the two have teamed up in a movie in 16 years. Now, the last movie they starred in together was Burn After Reading, way back in 2008. And many fans online said they were excited to see Rusty and Danny together, again, making a reference, of course, to their characters in the Ocean's 11 movies. Plus, we know they're best friends in real life. So I think that's why I'm most excited, because I know their chemistry is always on point, and I'm looking for a new movie. Now, this is exclusive to the theaters, though. Are you going to actually go to the theaters and see it?
I will go to the theaters. I usually only go to the theaters, though, for things where I want to hear it and experience it.
See it,
Yes,
yeah.
like something like a Mad Max Fury Road or something like that. But I do want to support the theaters. I'm worried that they're going to go away. I'm kind of worried that they're just going to become just kind of like this kind of specialty thing that I'm worried. I just think that there's a certain amount of people that need to be at the theater. They like sitting in the seat. They like getting their popcorn. I'm not one of those people, but I'm closer to them than watching every movie at home. So
Yeah.
I do want to support, and taking a page out of Erica's book, if you like something and you say you like it, you need to go out and support it
Yeah.
instead of saying, wow, the theater's closing. So I will go watch this, and I'll report back.
I felt the same. Obviously, I said it, so I do feel that way. I am looking forward to seeing Babes with Michelle Buteau and
Alana Glazer.
Is that her name?
I think so. A lot from Broad
Yeah.
City.
Yes, yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah.
You know, Michelle
Yeah.
Buteau is like one of my best friends.
She's amazing.
Is she really?
Albert?
Yeah,
That-
Babes
when
looks
I
very
when I
funny.
was a middle school teacher in Miami, my friend Ronnie Khalil told me, you need to meet this young comic. She's just starting. I probably had 10 open mics under my belt. She's about the same. She was an editor for NBC News.
Wow.
And she was in Florida. She's from Florida, just like Eric Andre. And we ended up meeting and talking, and we have been friends. I knew her when she was single. I knew her when she met her husband.
Get her on the show.
She was the voice of Love Island.
Oh, we could call Michelle right now. She would do the show.
The Circle. Oh,
Yeah.
The Circle.
Yes,
Oh my gosh, love
Michelle is
that.
the homie like you guys are the homie.
So
like,
you're
yeah.
more excited for her movie.
I am, but this movie, actually, I was like, oh, it's like two heartthrobs with 401ks.
Let me
dig it.
let me explain really quick. If you didn't know, Ocean's 11 was really a Rat Pack movie originally, and these two remind me of the Rat Pack. If anyone's going to get you back, it's these movie stars. But they also really remind me of Robert Redford and Paul Newman,
Yep.
which were Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. They were also in The Sting. It's just the two hotties that you really want to see together.
They also have like an older legacy, in my opinion, when it
Totally.
comes to movies, right? They're not on social media. They're not oversaturated.
more Hollywood classically,
So
yeah.
we shall see. I'm excited personally. Okay, let's talk about Shania Twain, because she's opening up about her painful divorce from music producer Mutt Lange. Shania was married to Mutt for 15 years before splitting in 2008. After she found out he was having an affair with her best friend. On a podcast, Shania said, her ex deserves empathy and understanding over what he did. Have a listen.
Do I hate my ex-husband for making a mistake? No. It's his mistake, not my mistake. So sad for him that he made such a grave mistake that he has to live with. So, and I don't know what that is, but that's not my weight.
Erica, you're laughing. What do you think of her having empathy for her ex?
Oh, sis said, I am so sad for him that he chose wrong and left me for that girl.
That's what I got.
It's a little shady, he said.
That was shade upon shade. But it's true. Sometimes you do feel bad, like, man, you were so short-sighted. A lot of people are, but people have to understand that the reason why other people are short-sighted about you and your value is because that's your protection. That's the way that you get blessed. That's your gift, that they were extracted from your life before they could really do something to mess it up. So it's an interesting way of saying it, but I understand it.
Yeah,
I do. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, you know, when I went through my thing where my home was burglarized by somebody that I knew, and I called a good close friend of mine, comic I used to travel with a lot, and he said something I'll never forget. I was actually going to name my last album after it, and he just said, you know what, you can go after her, but she has to walk with that.
Right.
And the indignity of what she did is gross, and cheating is gross, and he has to walk with that now. And anything you do, dumping paint on his car or something, that actually absolves them. Like, see, this is why I left.
Yep.
Erica can't. Yeah, this is why I left. You're a crazy person.
Yep.
But the fact that like you steal somebody's stuff or you cheat on them and they just shrug it off, for the rest of your life, you're like, well, why weren't they too worried about leaving me? It's a weird thing.
The
but
best revenge is moving on.
yes,
That's it.
I don't think that's a saying, but yes.
No, it is a saying. The best revenge is doing well.
The best revenge is moving on. I never said it
well.
was a saying. That was me giving advice.
Okay. Well, you said it like it was a saying. Okay.
If that's what you think. Maybe it should be.
It was pretty good.
Okay, so we are getting another look at the upcoming Lifetime series, and I know this is something that you're looking forward to, Al. All about Gypsy Rose's life.
Love her.
After spending 8 years in prison for helping kill her mother, the new preview looks at her crumbling marriage to Ryan and the new guy coming between them. Watch out.
I am kind of rushing into things and wanting to do everything all at once.
She's 30 years old. She's making 17, 18-year-old person type decisions.
We had sex. It wasn't protected.
Are you pregnant?
Ken checked in.
What?
If something happens with Gypsy and Ken, it's going to be your fault.
He's trying to weasel his way back in because now Gypsy's out of prison.
I've never been on camera before talking about anything like this.
Who was that? You texted?
Ooh, what do you think about Gypsy's latest Lifetime series, Al?
I'm all into it. I
Yeah, I
can't
know
wait.
you are.
Why
are you so intrigued by her?
Because I was offended one Saturday morning that I opened up TMZ and it was like 6 articles about this person I do not know. I contacted the group thread and I was like, who is this person in
She
my
invaded
face?
your algorithm.
She did, and ever since then she's been my girlfriend. And I understand that I have to walk with that. But I will say I do find this country's enthrallment with her interesting. I don't know, because it's not like really anything that I feel like there's something where you can see yourself in her life. I mean, maybe you can cheer for her to move on at post-jail, but in all seriousness, why do you think that she is resonating so much with so many people? She had a pretty extreme situation.
If you're familiar with her story, you want to see her, again, yes, people are going to say, but she murdered her mother. This young girl was tortured in every way possible. And I think people that are invested in her story she paid her time, she went to jail, and they're hoping that she can have a redemption story. And they want to see her have a redemption story, considering all the trauma that she's had to endure. I worry that she's thrown to the wolves when it comes to Hollywood. And I know a lot of. I do worry about that, Tori.
I think you're absolutely right. I do think people see themselves in her, and I think I agree with Sam. Anyone who's been a victim of their own circumstances, got out, did something about it. Now, hers was illegal. She faced the time. But she got out of medical torture in a way I don't know anybody else could. And I just agree with Sam. You want to see her succeed. I think. I'm just not sure if she has anyone in her corner protecting her.
I hope people are.
Yeah,
I really do.
That's what I hope.
Coming up on DBL, our interview with Tay Diggs, how he's helping spread awareness about mental health as he helps provide care for his sister who has schizophrenia. Plus, Robert De Niro clashes with pro-Trump protesters. We're going to talk all about it next. Welcome back to DBL. For the first time in history, the fate of a former president is in the hands of a jury as they deliberate Trump's fate. But everyone's talking about what happened outside the courthouse yesterday. So President Biden's campaign held a news conference with Robert De Niro and two officers who defended the Capitol on January 6th. De Niro warned people about the dangers of electing Trump, but then he got into an altercation with some pro-Trump protesters. Take a look.
That's what Trump does to try to intimidate. We have to fight back. We're trying to do it We're trying to be gentlemen in this world, the Democrats. You are gangsters. You are gangsters.
Ooh, what do you think, Tor?
I think it's incredibly ironic and very powerful to see two heads of New York, kings of New York, go against each other. De Niro and Trump both own a lot of New York. They both see it as their city. Trump has played gangsters De Niro has played gangsters all his life. And I think he sees Trump in some of the characters he plays. And I think he's trying to call it out because he knows those characters. And I think he also is trying to protect New York and this country. And I think this is in the state of New York, this court case, and I think he's trying to represent his state and to take it away from Trump. I think it's fantastic that he's doing this because who else, as a bully that Trump is, who could stand up to Trump? I would be like, only like a Goodfellas guy, and it is.
You know what I'm confused about, though, and I agree with you, is that there's two officers that were there on January 6th that witnessed it. And if we're, protect the blue, all about pro-blue, why are we continually, and I'm generalizing, disregarding their experiences when they felt that their lives were threatened that day? And I think a lot of people, they cling on to Robert De Niro, and it's very easy to say, I'm dismissing De Niro, he's just an actor, he's a celebrity, whatever it may be. But then you hear two other individuals who are officers and who are there, and no one's talking about them.
Those two officers have gotten death threats almost for a full year now since January 6th.
But no one's talking about them.
Exactly, I agree.
Or listening.
Because they don't fit it. Sam, you're looking at this as a person that follows the news, and you're looking at facts and you're trying to fill in any gaps. What we continue to miss when we have this conversation is that certain people have created their own world.
The reality, right?
If Sandy Hook doesn't fit into that world, then Sandy Hook didn't happen. If January 6th doesn't fit into that world, then it didn't happen. And Sam, you're like, well, what about the footage? Footage can be doctored. Look at this angle. Look right here. They're letting them in. I could take a football game in which one team won by 100 points and cut that film and make it look like they lost 100. You can make this world, especially with TikTok and sound bites and things that are cut off and things that are semi-factual, you can make this world whatever you want. And for people that want to live in that world, there's a constant feed of that.
But De Niro did a good job, as Sam was saying, of reminding you.
Do you think anyone's going to listen, is my point? Do you think anyone that's on Trump's side is going to listen?
No, independents might.
Okay. I think people have really made up their minds about what what they want it to be. I mean, I remember years ago when we were talking about kneeling in the NFL, and Al was like, kneeling has nothing to do with the vets, because if you were really trying to defend the vets, then you would be doing this. You would be doing A, B, and C. It's same with January 6th and these police officers. It had nothing to do with Protect the Blue. It was just a rally cry in order to galvanize people against what they didn't want to have happen or against their adversary in this country. But then when you see on January 6th and you see two police officers who one of them is permanently injured.
Right. Correct.
Many of them.
Yes.
One died.
But it doesn't fit under Protect the Blue, because then that goes against what the rally cry was.
And so that's excised and it's gone.
So, I mean, just being honest about it. Like, if you're asking that question, then that would be what would be naturally deduced.
All right, good conversation. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to DBL. He's been on the big screen, the small screen, and the stage. He's been the best man and the one to help Stella get her groove back. Now, in honor of Mental Health Awareness Month, Taye Diggs is opening up about being a care partner for someone living with schizophrenia. Earlier, we spoke with him about it. Take a look. Please welcome to the show, Taye Diggs.
Yeah. What's happening, y'all?
Amazing. All right, let's start talking about this. Your sister actually has schizophrenia. When did you first notice that things were a little bit different for her?
Christian was first diagnosed at 28. We were a very closely knit family. I got three other brothers and sisters, including her. So when she started kind of acting outside of herself, as opposed to being the joyful, energetic, engaging person that she was more depressed, kind of withdrawn, not sharing with the families, the siblings as she normally would. And finally, my mother convinced her to go to the doctor, and then they gave us the news. On one hand, we were relieved that we could put a name to her change in behavior, but the way it hit me, I had no idea what was going to happen. I was scared. Once she sat me down, and we got Christian set up with a great psychiatrist and meds, she was able to calm me down. Which was ironic. But once we, zoned in and listened to her and what she needed, which was support, patience, and just to be listened to, that gave her the freedom and the confidence to do everything she needed to do, so that she could, continue to live the life that she wanted. I feel honored to have been in that situation and now be able to partner with BMS with the Live Your Possible campaign, because I know from experience.
I guess I want to ask you, what's the most common misconception about people that are currently living with schizophrenia? And with your platform, how do you want to change the narrative around it?
Oh, just to let people know, it doesn't have to be the way they think it's going to be. I'm not saying it's a walk in the park. Christian has done the work, and it's not easy to live with, as you can imagine. But she was doing everything she needed to do to get herself to a place where she's now confident and it doesn't interfere with who she wants to be or who she is as a person. And that's awesome.
That's a beautiful thing.
That's amazing.
All right, Taye, you're not only raising awareness about mental health, which is very important, you're also raising awareness for cancer testing and research. So in fact, you're in a part of a TV special that will include you doing a striptease.
Hello.
Yeah, I got a little twisted up there, and choreographed by Mandy Moore.
Hello.
Where did you get this idea from, and are you nervous about burying it all? Because
we're not nervous.
You clearly haven't lost a step. You look great.
I must be nervous because I just slipped off when you mentioned it.
Me too.
Oh boy. That's one of those situations where, when they asked me to do that, I was in a really good mood and I was feeling confident. But now that it's already done and I have to watch it, I'm petrified. My mother passed of cancer, so I thought it would be a great way to raise awareness and big up her, because she loved dance. Anything with Anthony Anderson you're gonna be constantly laughing. So I trusted him. It's gonna be a good time.
Taye, thank you so much for joining us today. This panel on purpose speaks about this stuff because we want to normalize it, and we're so thankful that you're doing this as well. DBL Nation, to learn more, please follow Live Your Possible on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, and please visit the website on the screen. Mr. Diggs, thank you again so much for being here and for talking about this. Absolutely.
Appreciate
we'll
you,
be
man.
right back.
Good support.
Absolutely.
Always a pleasure.
Come back soon, man. Thanks.
Hey.
Welcome back. Did you know that 79 million Americans struggle with medical debt because they are either uninsured or underinsured? In fact, many people say they won't get necessary medical treatments because they want to avoid costs. So would you avoid appointments or testing to save yourself from medical bills? Also, your deductible.
Totally.
You know, you're okay. Yeah, I don't have $1,000 right now.
Totally.
It's a sad, sad reality.
I have an endoscopy that my doctor really wants me to get. I'm having major gastro issues. Sorry if it's TMI, but some pain here, and he really wanted it. It's $2,000 out of pocket.
Yep.
So I'm saving up for my HSA to get that, but it's like, I'm lucky to have a job that has an HSA. So
Right.
I'm just letting you know, it's not just you, it's a lot of us
no
out
one is
there.
alone. Exactly.
Yeah.
And knowing what your insurance will or will not cover is important, and better benefits can help. Many Americans already on Medicare may not have a plan with all the benefits accessible to them. So reach out to Medicare Advantage advisors today. The benefits review is free. Call 800-293-9930.
I want to say this really quickly,
Yes.
Sam. I just want anybody out there that's like struggling to know there's no shame.
At
Yes.
all.
If you don't have it, you don't have it. I ruptured my Achilles tendon and I didn't have a dime. So, and I mean, you get through it. It wasn't pleasant, but you can get through anything. So
Well said,
don't
Al.
hang your head.
Thank you for that. DBL's new every day. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye, guys.